The NHS is facing a multi-billion-pound funding gap. So how can health and social care services reduce costs while maintaining high levels of care? Well, one solution, according to Pi Ltd, is in the analysis of data to spot high-risk areas before they become a problem. Sarah Lockett has more.
In Laura's case, joining up the services that she receives from housing, health and social care, it's allowed her to stay in her own home, an extension of beds in the community, if you like. It's better for her and it's a less expensive solution. It's time for a cup of tea in Derby.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you.
67-year-old Laura Bell McLaughlin and her partner and carer Tom discuss her upcoming medical appointments. She has breast cancer, diabetes, osteoporosis, arthritis and high blood pressure. Yet she's still living at home.
I've got everything in here, like a stair lift, handrails, so that thing on the bed, that rail, can get up at nights, and I've got my commode. So it's no need just going to hospital because there's a hospital. We have to try and save.
Surrounded by her own things, she no longer has to ring 999 so much, thanks to new community health services and the city's healthy housing scheme.
We deal with Derby City Council, so healthy housing, which like a combination of the social service and the city housing. And that is kind of a joined up and not as fragmented as it used to be in the past. And they've been very excellent for us in providing the service we need.
This joined-up approach is possible because 12 local care and health organisations started sharing and analysing their workflows using software from Pi Ltd. The aim was to cut soaring demand for health services, to reduce emergency admissions and also to adapt to the government's Better Care Fund.
To put together all of the information for all the organisations, what the experience is looking like. And it's given us some very interesting data so far. For example, patients who are using health services on a very, very regular basis, and why they're using health services and what other services they're using.
What we have here is a dashboard that shows the different costs before and after a cohort of people, a group of people together who have a fall.
I got a demonstration of just part of the software from PI's Julia Ross. Here, in a real case, the data showed that among a number of older people, after social care spend fell, several dozen people had a fall. As a result, social care costs rocketed and so did hospital emergency costs. Community costs are shown on the bottom row. The data can be questioned to understand patients with long-term conditions, to highlight gender or ethnicity, to see how individual GP practices or wards work, or even down to individual patients.
One of the reasons why I joined the company from the Department of Health was because the NHS and social care is incredibly rich in data. There's massive amounts of data and very little of it gets used. I'd say about, 10% of it gets used. And that does get used in silos. The important thing is to take the data from lots of different sources, that multiple layers, rich layers of data, and put it together, integrate it, cleanse it, put it together, match it, and then create the information and intelligence solutions that allow people to look at it in a very different way.
There's a term now bandied about called data scientist. And what we like to say is that, in fact, everyone is a data scientist now. If you go shopping on Amazon, you're interacting with billions and billions of items.
PI help clinicians and managers reduce emergency admissions and identify pressures across the whole system so they can proactively put in place measures to make the patient journey better.